Oh.
Ow. Man, if I knew it was that easy.
Damn. Oh, what the hell? We have the same patch. How'd we get the
Alright,
same patch?
let's see. Okay, so we're all here. Let's go over some Zeus basics, and then we'll get into the scenario building.
Roger that.
Alright, so go ahead and get around me for now. I'm gonna assume you all know the basics of Zeus, so how to open it, the different tabs and what they all mean.
Can
Hey,
you
Colonel
go? Can you
Bass.
go yelling, please, screen?
Yeah. Do any of you not know what the different
Uh,
tabs are?
I think it's Y.
It should be Y, is standard button.
Yep.
Alright,
Yep, we're all picking our pockets.
yep. So on your left side, you have the Edit tab that shows everything that you currently have visibility on. Um, sometimes, uh, if other Zeus put down an object, you might not be able to see it, in which case you have to add it to your Zeus. We'll go over that in a bit. On the right side, you have all your create tools. So far left is units, which shows each individual unit, static objects, armor, all that. Groups shows composition, so like platoon, squads, such and such. The empty tab is physical composition, so you can use this to put down outposts and roadblocks. Then you have modules, which is probably one of your more often used tools, which has all the different scripts that Ace and Arma have that you can use to affect the mission.
What's the numbers on the thing that just popped up?
What thing?
The 67, the blue, red, and all
Oh,
zeros.
those are assets. So the
Oh.
blue is blue for assets, red is op for assets, green is indie assets, purple is civvy assets. This is just trying to give you a check to be like, oh, so that's how many I have down, such and such.
Okay.
So on the tool side here, you got all the Ace tools. These are pretty freaking useful. Go down to Ace Utility and go to, we're going to put down something on the runway. Let me know if it pops up in your Zeus.
Ready.
Do you see this in your edit tab?
Yeah.
Well, for example, let's say it didn't. You would go to the modules, Ace Utility, update editable objects, and add object, and it will put it into your Zeus. You want to use this if another Zeus is talking about something, I don't see what they're talking about. It's probably because it's not in your Zeus curation. Let's see, teleport players. Additionally, something you can use. You generally want to not do too many people at once. I would keep it to 6 people or less at a time. Although it's a lot stronger than what Achilles has. Go to the Ace AI tool here. These have all of your different tricks and tips. I'm gonna go more into these when I actually build a
Wait,
scenario.
you say Ace tab? You said?
Ace AI. So you're on the modules tab.
Yeah, where the crate is. Or what's the module tab exactly?
The 3 crates. If you mouse over, it says modules.
Oh. Oh, you mean the. Oh, you mean the. Okay, you mean the crates that the boxes? You mean?
Yeah. So you see units, groups, modules.
Oh. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah. Blue 4, Zeus, and yeah, all the units and yeah, I see those.
Yes. And so on the modules tab, there's a bunch of Ace tools. Ace AI, Ace Arsenal, Ace Captive, Ace Medical, Ace Repair, and Ace Utility.
Ace repair. Where's that?
So these tools you can use to do.
How'd you get the animals in here?
Someone spawned them. You can do it on under the animals tab. So you use these tools to basically build situations, build scenarios. So we have.
Oh, hello. That's a lot of AI, Ace AIs. There's a fire, suicide bomber. Ooh, I know. We got that fun up out.
Alright.
A suicide bomb.
Alright, so do you guys have a decent understanding of what these tools do? Or
Yep.
Alright, well I'll be going over them as I use them to build a scenario either way. So Lee,
Mhm.
You're a platoon commander, so you're pretty good, I would think, at putting together a training scenario. So
Sure.
you go ahead and describe to me the scenario that you put together, and I'll Zeus it. So do a platoon size. So let's say it's a platoon training sized scenario.
Okay.
You describe it to me, and I'll build
Okay.
it, and I'll explain the steps that I take to build the scenario.
Okay. Basically, the idea I had, I was working more on a section level. I was just thinking small, but I can move it up a bit. So what we could kind of imagine is using the terrain features to funnel into a defensive position. And I kind of had this idea of making sure the enemy's coming into a certain direction to where you're essentially forcing them to come into enfilade fire.
Alright, did you have a terrain location in mind, or?
Yeah, we're on Altus.
We are on Altus.
Let's see, I'm pretty sure I've got a spot.
'Cause I think
Hey,
I have one in mind myself, and we'll see if we're thinking of the same spot.
Oh, here we go. Oh, wait, that's not it. That's different. Hey, I have one question.
I have an answer.
Okay. Like in the special, like, SCOM, all that shit?
Alright.
Like, special forces and all that shit.
Right.
Why does it say, like, MARSOC and SWCC? Why not just Green Beret and Delta Force, all that shit? Or are they all the same thing?
So the SWCC is like cruise the boats, I guess. And then you have MARSOC. I don't know, that's RHS. So like it's not it's what they put down, it's not what we have.
Well, I know that. I mean, like, for like the real Zeus, if we're like in a Zeus that has RGHS without 15th MEU stuff, how is that?
That's what it shows up as. The only things that the 15th mod pack changes are the 3 tabs at the top of Blue 4, 15th Mew, 15th Winter, 15th Woodland, as well as it adds an APC tab to USA USMC with the AAV.
Hey,
Okay.
Green, I was under the impression I was thinking of Malden. So if you've got a good spot that kind of fits that mold, I'm all ears.
Alright, so you want to funnel them into a position where they're taking concentrated fire is what you're thinking?
Yeah, essentially force them into outgoing enfilade fire. Like if you can picture like maybe Serrani, the hotel with the valley, in the valley.
So
that
let's
sort of situation.
Alright, so I'm gonna put down a marker. Alright. I'm gonna put it down at where I think the fire would be best, where the platoon would be situated. So we're gonna title this SBF. And then I'm gonna draw a marker that shows the direction of Op4.
Oh, holy shit.
So something like
Hey.
this, Lee?
Yeah, let me go cruise over there real quick. Is there an easier way to get there, like using the Zeus camera?
If you open up your map and you do middle mouse button, it teleports your camera to that
Thank you.
location.
You just helped me so much right
Holy
there.
shit! I didn't know we could do that.
Yep, I'm gonna be doing a lot of these little tips and tricks or stuff I'm gonna be giving along the way to help
Wait,
out
you're
with
not-
that.
And these are free tips and tricks, dude.
Free tips and tricks.
Yeah, and yeah, that's perfect, Green.
Alright, so then we're gonna have an SBF here. Alright, so keep that mark there. So I'm gonna basically, given the small amount of information that Lee gave me, so he wants a platoon-sized enfilade fire objective where he funnels in Op4 and then the platoon engages it. So taking that, I've picked a location, and now I'm going to develop Op4, and then we're gonna develop everything else. So next step here is figuring out the Op4 forces he wants. We're gonna be assuming this is a rifle platoon, so we're not gonna be sending. We're definitely not gonna be sending anything like a tank company at them like that. What we're probably gonna be doing is we're gonna do a small Op4 convoy with a few APCs and then Urals filled with infantry. Now, let's see. This is a platoon objective, so it's probably gonna. We'll say the objective is gonna take about an hour. So we're gonna do 3 or 4 waves of it. So we're gonna find a location to put our op for that we can have so they're situated so it doesn't look like they're just being spawned right in front of GCE, and we can have it so it's close enough that they're not gonna go completely crazy before they even show up. So there's a little intersection here. I'm gonna put a purple flag on it. That's where I'm probably gonna be putting my op for. So we're gonna start this out. We're gonna start this out with a few Euro trucks, like so. And I'm gonna have a BTR at the front, a BTR at the back. Now the AI are gonna automatically. Whoa! Someone just deleted one of my trucks.
Oh. Wait, how do you like get to that? How do you see them in action instead of a map?
M. So you see your camera. So go to your map, press the middle mouse button, and then press M again.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Alright. So we have, let's say this is our first wave here. And we're going to have GCE on that hill there. I will assume that they're going to have gunfighter, insert them in. We'll have them be inserted via gunfighter. So, things we're going to want to do. If you go to the module tab, go to ACE AI and do global AI skill. I'm going to put that down. When I'm going to do everything, you're going to hit cancel after putting it down. So you're going to see the general skill. I'm going to edit this to kind of bump it up a little bit so that these AI here are a little more skilled so they can provide a bit more challenge. Next up, so let's say for this, we're good to go. I'm going to have the convoy move out. So if you do control click, you can set multiple waypoints down. This works for anything with Zeus, so if you pull out a BTR and you press control click, you can place down multiple BTRs at once. So I'm not sure if you can see the waypoints, but I'm basically setting up the convoy route for this BTR. I'm going to do the same for these Urals as well.
Okay, this is a weird thing.
Так точно. Выдвигаюсь на позицию. Ясно, приступаем. Выдвигаюсь на позицию. Ясно, приступаем. Ясно, приступаем. Выдвигаюсь на
And there you go, you got your basic convoy going, and then they would come through here, GCE would see them, and GCE would shoot them. Let's see. If it was nighttime, I'm gonna go ahead and make it nighttime. So you go to environment, you go to skip time. It's 24-hour clock. So we're gonna skip it forward 8 hours. We're gonna skip it forward another 2 hours or 3 hours. All right, now in ACE AI, there's toggle NVGs. If I do enable and I do for OP4 group, it adds NVGs to every single unit on OP4. Same thing for flashlights. If I just set that down and do enabled and yes to OP4, it gives flashlights to every single OP4 unit that is currently down.
So we could assume that if that's not done, then they just can't see for shit.
Correct. So, because the Russian units don't really come with they don't come with NVGs.
Got it.
Like the team leader alone has NVGs. Everyone else has nothing.
How very Soviet.
Yeah. So that was skip time and time acceleration are under environment. Skip time is what you use to get it to a specific time you want. Time acceleration will make time go faster, as the name implies. So it can go all the way up to 24 times, I believe. Nope, 60 times. So 1 day equals 24 minutes. You could do that if you want a transition in your training a bit more than what ARMA typically gives you. Although typically I just put it on twilight or dusk if I want to go from darkness to daytime. And if it's an hour-long training, that typically achieves it just fine. With weather on this environments tab, if you put it down, the fog level depends on the elevation you put down the module. So if I put this down, I do overcast like so, boom, it fills up with fog. Alright, now if I put it down into the valley, same level of fog, but now that fog level is for the valley's elevation, so it goes down. Now if I put that onto this mountain right here, almost everything is covered and you can't see anything.
Oof.
So we're gonna put that back. So that's right there. I'd say that's a pretty yeah, this is definitely more section sizedly, I think.
Yeah, sorry about that. I did if I.
Nah, it's
I was
cool.
wrong with the platoon plan.
It's cool. This works. This is a good demonstrator. So what we're gonna do instead is, unless anyone else has, if any of you have a specific scenario that you'd like me to see me do before we move on, I can put one together. I can do it. I can test myself and see how quickly I can put it together as well. So if anyone has one that they'd like to throw out at me.
Can you like make it a little bit light so we can see?
Yes.
Okay. So wait, put what down? Like
If you guys want to give me a scenario that you'd like to see me practice so that you can figure out what to do. So I'd like to see you try to make a squad attack objective or something. I don't know. If you guys have anything like that you'd like to see.
Maybe maybe a company-sized, or not actually not company-sized, like a platoon-sized was attacking Corey right here,
Corey.
or Core, K-O-R-E,
Yeah, core. Give me one
or
moment.
Core.
Right here. Alright. So we're gonna have a platoon attack objective on core. So let me just mark this out first for my knowledge. We're gonna have a platoon objective at core. Alright. Let's see. Where do I want them to come from? So with trainings especially, you basically get to like, what will happen is the leader that has the training is going to come to you with something like, I'd like to practice squad attack objectives. You basically get everything else. So we're saying it's going to be a core. Let's see, we're going to have them come in from, we're going to have them come in from, the north here.
Green, might I make a small request on this? On the
Yeah.
top of this.
Go right ahead.
Could we see them garrison buildings as they go into the town?
Sure thing. Like, you want who to get the Blue 4 garrison or the Op 4 garrison?
Either way is fine. Just I'd like to see that from the Zeus perspective.
Alright, sure thing. Alright, so we're gonna have them come in from this direction here. We're gonna have Blue 4 come in from here. I'm not gonna model Blue 4, but I am gonna model Op 4, because that's what you want to look out for. So we're gonna have them come in from the north. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a scout group here. One moment. Small patrolling fire team just outside of core. So we're gonna go to ACI patrol area. We're gonna set this to 250 because it's gonna be a wide area patrol. So it's just gonna be there to alert us when Blue 4 arrives. Additionally, I'm gonna put down a sniping team on top of the hill here.
Bad guys are good.
Bad guys. I'm putting down all bad guys. So we're focusing on bad guys because Blue 4 we can pretty much assume is gonna happen as they that's just gonna be a thing.
Hey, can I put something down on the only on the training deck where we are?
Yeah, feel free to practice that while I do this. If you want to practice your Zeus skills, like go right ahead. I'm doing this for people that want to see like how to put stuff in.
Got it.
That didn't work.
Готов действовать.
There we go. Got a dishcum right there. Now, what we're gonna do, so I have enough out there that I'm satisfied with. We're gonna put down, and this is how I do it. So it might vary. Some people really don't like the garrison tool. I do.
Жду.
So we're gonna put down
Готов.
in core. Can you guys see
Жду
this?
распоряжений.
Mm.
Жду.
So I've put down basically one platoon's worth. Now I'm gonna join them all into one single group. And I'm gonna go to garrison group, set the radius to about 300, even filling, and teleport. What that does
Ooh.
is it automatically puts them all in there. Now, this is a little too sparse for me, so I'm going to have that as like the outer layer, and I want some
Жду
more
распоряжений.
here in the middle
Жду
layer.
приказа.
So I'm going to do a second platoon,
Жду приказа.
How do I delete the?
the delete key.
Okay. Ah, here we go.
And I'm going to do this one as well. I'm going to do it smaller. I'm going to do it building by building. Now, let's say we have a building that we want them to search or clear out. You can use
my.
either the garrison tool or the search nearby building tool right here. So we're going to do that. You just put that in, and the closest building to the person that you put it down onto is the one they're going to search. So you can see them. I'll put down a smoke shell. If you're in core, you can see at the orange smoke, they're moving through the building. So this right here is a squad or a platoon attack town objective. Further on from this, you'd probably want to put down some
Готов.
extra armor just to make it a bit more of a challenge.
Готов.
Something you can consider is, let's look out over at the factory to the west of core. You could pre-place down a QRF.
Готов.
This helps you.
Жду
I like to
приказа.
place things down, like not too much, because if you put too much down, it'll slow down the
Жду
server. But it's
Готов.
good to pre-place this down, one, so it's more natural when they come in, and two, it kind of self-limits you. So you're like, oh, alright, so I'm going to use this when it comes in. So you don't just spawn in a whole much more than you're supposed to. So we have a QRF here. We have two platoons in the town itself. We have a sniping team, and we have a patrolling team outside. This is a very basic, quick to put together platoon objective. Let's see. I'm going to do garrison group. If you don't select the teleport option, they'll move in by themselves. So like, for example, this squad right here, I just selected garrison group, and I set the radius to 10 meters, and I set building by building. So they're basically all going to go into this one specific building right here. Alright, any questions?
Nah, I'm checking.
Alright, so that's two good examples here. What I'm going to do now is split you guys into groups of 2. So Lee, you gave me one, so I'm going to give you one. The rest of you, let's see, Barkley and Tater, Bass, and Ust. Each of you are going to give each other a scenario for you to Zeus. Try to keep it under 1 platoon of infantry and 4 armored vehicles. So that way we don't screw up the server too much.
How many people is it in a platoon exactly?
4 squads if you do compositions, or 40 people roughly.
Oh.
Let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3 groups. So I'm gonna split. We'll split it, Altus into thirds. So Barkley and Tater, you guys are west of the 1 line. Bass and Ust, you guys are between 1 and 2. Lee, you're gonna be between 2 and 3. You guys can.
Oh, sorry.
You
Got it.
guys can read maps. I'm not sure if you can. I've
Oh,
never.
no, I have no idea how to read a map.
I'm not too confident on it. I was laying nav. Okay, so do you see the lines here on the map?
I was joking, I know.
All right, cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll never count it out because you never know. Feel free so that we're not all talking over each other to just,
Markway,
Yeah.
get out, Zeus. Come over to me.
yeah. Here, Lee, come with me. And y'all can probably all hear me on the 343 since we've not gotten radios. That's fine. Alright,
Okay.
so how specific of an example do you want to be given? Or do you want one that's just, do you want to go as far as you pick the location and everything?
No, I mean, if you wanna send it to me, bro, give it. I'll take it. You wanna
Alright.
give me something hard? I'll go for it.
Alright, let's, I'll give details as you ask them, but instead, I'm gonna,
Okay.
we're gonna do, I want to do a, I want to do a breakout. So, so Blue 4 starts in a defensive position and has to break out of a Op 4 attempted encirclement
Okay.
and reach safe Blue 4 lines, friendly lines. So they're about to be, so they're at risk of encirclement by Op 4. They're currently in a defensive position, and the training will consist of breaking out of the encirclement and returning to friendly lines.
Gotcha.
And that's this east side of Altus here past the tube line. So you can pick whichever location you want to begin with. You can pick where the friendly line is going to be. If you don't like that, I can build those for you as well.
So I'm just kind of spitballing with you here for a sec. I'm sort of thinking the Freedom Line here is crossing into the Salt Flats.
Alright, so Salt Flats, are you going to say from which direction?
So coming from the west, going eastward, break through, heading east, and then hit the Salt Flats as the home free.
Alright, wait one. So if you check your map, can you see the blue lines? You might have to get out of Zeus to do so.
Oh yeah, I had to get yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
So you see these lines? Would you say that as the friendly lines here?
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Alright.
And then let's see, as far as what would be a good spot other than that for the Op 4.
Now, since they're planning on getting out of the defensive location,
Right.
it doesn't have to be like a fortress.
Right.
se.
Just how big of a situation are you looking here?
We're gonna do a squad size so we can keep
Squad
it down.
size. Perfect, actually. Okay. So,
And
what about like a mounted situation? Like maybe like three or two. Let's call it 2 Humvees.
Alright.
With or we can, I guess 3 Humvees would make a squad.
It's your mission, so you want to do it.
Okay.
You want to do a mounted encirclement.
Yep.
Do you
Yeah,
want to
let's do
have?
that.
All right. So then you pick where they're gonna be encircled at originally. Are you gonna be giving them defensive positions at the start?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna take a look at it in Zeus, but I'm just looking at the map right now, and I'm gonna circle it in blue right now.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I'm thinking like that, and then an egress, break through that away. And then we've got we got a red line here. I'm thinking something like that, risky encirclement coming in like that.
Coming in like where? Oh, like that side there.
Kind of like that.
All right. Well, so remember it is an encirclement, so it's probably gonna be on all sides.
Right. What I'm kind of thinking is, so we've got a definite hard point here on the hills.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you cut out.
I'm sorry. We have another one here. Sorry, I have one of my mouse buttons is my push to talk.
Ah, that's fine.
And then maybe like a VCP right here.
Right where?
Right here.
Checkpoint right there. All right.
Yeah.
And so are you going to do this where they have to hold out in that facility and then try to break free? Is that what you want to do it with?
Let's say before they get mounted, I'm trying to think of a good scenario for this. There has to be some condition to why they don't want to egress immediately.
You could say that
maybe-
the Humvees are broken down.
Yeah, we could do that. Or I was even thinking maybe there's a BMP that will shred if like unarmored Humvees.
That's
So
a good
maybe-
idea. That's a more organic instead of like a contrived like Zeus control timer. That's more of a they have to deal with it or else they're not going to get out deal. That works.
Right. So let's just say maybe from this northern flank there's a BMP kind of barreling down in here, and then their first objective is, all right, take out the BMP so that we can get the hell out of here. And once we get out, we've got for the sake of continuity of what we've been working with the servers lately, we'll just say 350 caliber Humvees
All right.
instead of Mark 19s, because I know we're not technically supposed to use them or something like that.
Yep, that works. So 350 cal Humvees. That's all for you. In this case, you're gonna want to also put down the Humvees for them to use. And so in this situation, this is gonna be training where you'll be like, all right, we're gonna do this, and you're gonna teleport them into this situation. So put everything down that you think Blue 4 is gonna need in their base, and then put down the starting Op 4 that you want to see. And then I would say the first 2 ways of QRFs that you want to see.
Gotcha. All right, let me just get to work real quick.
Alright, I'm gonna walk around and see what else they're doing.
You got it.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good so far.
Alright, are you guys doing both of your scenarios at once, or are you gonna do one and then the other?
We're doing them both at once.
Alright, cool. What are you guys doing?
One of them is where are we here? At the just north of Laka, northeast of Laka. There's like a factory and the military compound on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
So Blue 4 is going to be attacking from Laka. So I'm populating the factory and military compound with Op 4.
Alright. I would say put some markers down as well to kind of explain your scenario. So that way it when I look at it like, or when anyone looks at the map, they be like, okay, I see what we're gonna be doing.
For sure.
So it's kind of like half upward, half half Zeusing.
Copy that.
All right. Us, what are you doing?
Mira?
All right. What are you doing in Athera?
I'm gonna have our forces come in from somewhere north behind those hills back there. Now I'm gonna have some garrison in Athera, and basically like a down pilot scenario, and we've got to go in and find them.
All right. So the objective here is the rescue of the down pilot.
Yes.
All right. And you heard what I told Bass, so make sure to have some markers on there to show the general gist of what's going on.
Copy that.
All right. Do you guys have any questions or help that you need with this? I see you have a bouncing dude over here, Ust.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix that guy. I don't know what's wrong with him.
All right. Here, I'll remove him. What
Okay.
you want to do with buildings like this office building is you're gonna want to put them down. You're gonna put down your infantry outside of it,
Что
Drop him on the
прикажешь?
ground and then drag him up.
and then drag them up, or using the garrison tool. And after you use the garrison tool, they're going to be stuck there, so you can have them garrisoned and teleport, and then reposition them after garrisoning them.
Copy that.
All right, there you go.
Thank
Cool.
you.
No problem. What the two of you guys got going on?
I'm teaching Barclay how to like spawn vehicles and have like and have people get in the vehicles right now.
All right. so you're teaching them the 2 different ways, right?
What's
Yeah.
the different ways?
So there's the one way that you put down, as we're putting down the car. So for starters, you have them dismount by pushing G, and they'll dismount. So you have one way where you right click and they get in.
Yep, we're doing the other way.
And the other way is you click and drag and they automatically get into it.
Huh, okay.
So this squad right here, for example, I'll just click and drag and they get in. Do you guys have the tasking you guys are going to be doing already, or the mission you're going to be doing?
Yeah, we do.
All right. When you do it, I'll say to put some markers down, like I was doing as well, to try to show what your mission is going to be, so that anyone looking at the map can basically get a gist of what's going to happen. This is partially to because this is not just like a Zeus training, but like or Zeus course, but like a training course, so how to make better trainings. So you want to make sure that it looks pretty clear what's actually going to go on.
Okay.
Alright, and you guys have another, I'd say, 20 minutes on this one. So...
Is this all we're going to be learning?
well, after we do this, we're going to go over each scenario, and then I'm going to see what weak points people have with this, and then touch on those and fix those up. And then additionally, we're gonna do not quite a live scenario, but like I'll see how well we can do one that has some real time taking care of Zeus. So we'll probably put like an AI platoon versus an AI platoon, so you guys can practice your real time Zeus skills.
Okay.
Keep working on it, and I'll call you guys back in about 15 minutes.
Okay. So put down 2 more Euros, and then put down like a BTR.
Alright, Lee, how you doing?
Doing good. Is there any kind of like, I don't know, template or something for like a checkpoint?
If you go to groups, go to empty, go to compositions, and then roadblock.
Compositions and roadblock. There we go.
Additionally, there's a search bar here, so if you go to units and empty and type in sandbag, for example, that also, if you type something in and then delete it, it closes all of the tabs, which makes it a lot easier to navigate. You'll find them mostly in structures, under structures, military, like structures, altus, military, or walls, military, or fences, military.
Gotcha.
Additionally, if you click the diamond above a group, you can select that specific one and set it so combat mode, speed, formation, all of that could be set up that way.
Well, I'm just about done here. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. And then I guess it's the same deal if I wanted to put down like a Dishko or something like that.
Yeah. Do you want to? So what was your blocking force that was keeping them in the compound?
It was. Oh, that's right. That's the BMP I need to put down now.
Yes.
And I'm trying to make sure that I'm putting them outside of like literal line of sight so that doesn't break immersion.
That's definitely smart. You actually picked a really good spot because you have these steep hills here, so you can put the enemy infantry, spawn them relatively close, but like they're still well out of sight, so you can't see when that happens. So that's actually a smart move there.
I'm gonna pretend like I knew what I was doing. No, I can appreciate not wanting to see like a ghost BMP just float into the.
Yeah. So you put this down. I would recommend. So you can use Q and Z to move your camera up and down, right?
Yeah.
All right. Get down to where you put your roadblock and just make sure.
Surface level.
Yeah. And you know how to move things up and down, right?
Hold Alt, right?
Yep. Alt click.
Oops, I done fucked up. There we go.
You go on. Hold on.
Yeah, and then I get the yeah. Okay.
There you go. You have another route too. So one thing you need to make sure when you're Zeusing is pretty much you can funnel them in as much as you want. They're still going to go a way that you didn't expect it to. Kind of like
Right.
Dungeons and Dragons. So I
Mhm.
did see you have this route pointing south here that has a small kind of camp here. I would
Mhm.
put a blocking element there as well. Try to make sure to encourage them to go down the road you want them to go down.
Let me look at the map while you're showing me that.
It's directly south of your camp.
Oh, I see. Okay, so if you immediately hung a right. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So you could very well have some. I'll put a blue smoke on just to make sure we're 100%. You could very easily have an intrepid squad being like, "Nah, we're not gonna go your way, Zeus. We're gonna go this other way." So you want to make sure to prepare for that. So some sort of blocking there. So for an example, if you go into civilian, so if you go into units, civilian, structures, Maltus, Malden, sorry, not Maltus, Malden, military. There's junk barricades. These are perfect for any kind of blocking element that you don't want to have just a whole bunch of Hescos on. So this pretty accurate, this pretty effectively spells out, don't come here, kind of deal.
Right, right.
Like so.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
And then if you really need to spell it out, then you would just
Жду приказа.
put a BMP right there too.
Yeah. Give them some real incentive.
Yeah, exactly. So this looks pretty good. It looks like you got, yeah, I do see you have your BMP. You have some infantry facing one direction. You got your blockade. I'm guessing you'd put some sort of blocking element there.
Yeah, I was
Жду
thinking
распоряжений.
a light element there because that's at the point that they've got there. You know, I mean, they don't need a whole lot.
Жду приказа.
Probably
Yeah.
a UAZ and then a squad or so element.
I mean, that's pretty much what I was thinking was a Dishcom and maybe like a squad. So that's perfect.
All right. And then I would say, additionally, so we do have our blue 4 line. If you'd wanted to, you could build that as well. So
Okay.
like a blue 4 friendly line. Because you have another 10 minutes or so. So like to signify the end of where this would be.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's see here. What would be a good way to do that? It'd have to be something that's out of line of sight of these guys because
I would say, so you see the salt flats, right? I would put down, personally, I would put down something basically like, let me just, I put down a cargo tower, and then I put down some H barrier walls.
Okay.
And so it'd be like, just, come towards the tower, and then I put some like, I don't know, some like Abrams tanks.
Okay. Yeah.
So then we would also, and then
Waiting.
oh,
Oh,
There we
that
go.
almost took off on you.
there you go. So something like this, or even like put it right here, and then that way, like when they come through, it's like, oh, I see. So this is friendly.
Right.
Something to signify that. If we had the Zeus eating compositions tool, which I did propose, and hopefully it'll get approved, it'd be so much easier to do this stuff on the fly because it adds so much more. It adds
Oh, yeah.
full like bunker lines that you can use.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I
100%.
know I wanted to, like, when I first got back into 4-1, I wanted to do something that had to do with taking out artillery positions, and it was just difficult to do that without like long trenches. Otherwise, I'd have to build them myself, and it took forever.
Yeah, exactly. It's so obnoxious that, but like, so like Zeus Eden composition has a whole bunch of stuff like that adds in like the long trench lines and all that stuff.
So this is like, oh man, okay. So at this point, I've got it's just a platoon, really, a reinforced platoon. But I mean, then it's up against one squad. I mean, they would probably Shrek them if they got online, unless they took that BMP out in a hurry. So, yeah, okay, that's as ordered, I guess.
Alright, there you go. Now, one things I would probably do is these BMPs that you have, or the one BMP you have behind the hill and the infantry here, I personally would increase the skill on.
Okay.
To make their suppressing fire that much more lethal. That way,
Okay.
they're not like just shooting uselessly. Because as soon as they crest that hill, they're going to become a target for GCE because they're going to be in their defensive positions trying to kill anything that tries to get close to them.
Now that's for global AI skill. Do I select the units, or is it
I would
like
not do global AI skill. What you would do there is you go to that diamond above them that has the group, and then you would do edit skill. That or I'm not sure if that works. Ace AI. If I just put it specifically on. Yep, that worked. All right.
Okay.
And then you wanted to do like a small, I'd say a small patrol here on the roadblock would be good.
Yeah, just a couple guys. Is there like some sort of I don't know, something to actually block the road? Because otherwise, I don't know about these guys, but I would just drive straight through it.
Yeah, you would do something. So you go to empty and type in Barra, BARRI, and that basically would put any barricade item or barrier item because you're searching. So you could do like the junk barricade there.
Okay, I see. Road barrier, razor wire, tire. Yeah, you get all kinds of stuff.
All right. I'm going to check the other guys here. What we're going to do afterwards, after this, is we're going to do not quite a live exercise, but like I'm going to put some Blue 4 units, and then we're going to have them go up against some Op 4 units just to get a feel for it. Just to get a feel for some of the tools here.
Sounds good.
So, alright. I'm going to have everyone gather around.
Bad frag.
I like it.
Gather around.
Alright, if you don't need any more time, go ahead and get up with me. You have a few more minutes if you do need them.
The one thing you haven't taught us yet, Green, is how to sit in judgment of other people yet.
I try not to do that. Actually, I will do some of that when we do this live exercise. Really, there's no better teacher than actually going in and doing it. So like, just I would recommend asking your leaders whatever if you can Zeus, or if Zeus is there, be like, ask again. Like it's all about your COC, because if you ask like, hey, can I Zeus with you? I'm pretty much always gonna say sure. It's the people above you that are gonna say no. So, but it takes kind of an even hand to realize when you're being, or it takes a lot of practice to realize when you're being too harsh versus when you're going way too easy on them. Because you're gonna see a lot of stuff from your viewpoint that you're gonna be like, wow, that's so stupid. Why would you ever do that? But they might have no idea that, like, they can't see what you can see, so they might have no idea that what they're doing is extremely stupid. So like, you can't just be like, well, they're being dumb, because everyone's always dumb every once in a while. So you have to practice on when to punish and where not to punish. All right, so let's go right to left here, actually. So we'll start with Lee. All right, so everyone open up Zeus. Can you all see everything has been placed down here?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we're up here near Pefkas Bay. Lee, if you want to explain your scenario that you've put together here.
Sure. Okay, so if you gentlemen will notice, there is a small industrial complex here. You will see Blue 4 and 3 50 caliber Humvees. Everybody tracking?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Now, leading out of the compound, you've got a road heading east, all the way to a friendly location noted by the cargo tower, H barriers, and 1 M1A1 Abrams. So the objective here is for this particular element to get the hell out of Dodge, get to the friendly location. Now the problem is, of course, we've got a platoon, maybe a reinforced platoon of infantry on either side, ready to schwack them the second they get out of here. So they're basically going to have to get through, and just to make things a little spicy, I put a BMP out here to make sure that they had to take care of the BMP first, and then they're going to run into another obstacle when they go down, hit a VCP here on the crossroads, so they'll have to bust through that one way or another, and we'll see how that goes.
All right. So some feedback from my end on this one. It is good. You're gonna have to, with this one. So if we want to have an hour-long training here, you're definitely gonna want to send some waves at them at the start, so that they have to actually defend their location before they leave. Because if they leave right off the bat, it's only gonna take like 10 minutes max.
Sure.
So this is one where you're definitely gonna want to have some extra, let's just say like Zeus reasoning here that says, oh, your tires are missing, so you can't drive yet, or something like that, just to keep them in to force the first 2 waves of defense. And then once that's through, then either like magically repair the truck, or it's like, oh, they found their missing contact lens, or whatever the hell reason you gave them to leave and get out of Dodge. So with that, that's something where you need to make sure that there's something that they absolutely cannot leave without, or else they will leave, because no one wants to sit there getting hammered when there's a perfectly good exit route right there, right? So.
Sure.
All right. Let's see. Ust, Bass. How about each of you go through situations that you put together and how you did so?
For sure. Us, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So we are over by Laka, over in the kind of the middle part of the island. So we've got Blue Force starting in Laka. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Blue Force starts in Laka. They're going to be moving northeast. Their main objective is to clear and capture the military outpost on top of the hill. Is it like 84? Something like that? 91? Secondary objective is to clear the factory on their way to there. To the northeast, there's a QRF that'll be coming in, and yeah, that's it.
Everyone still there?
Yeah.
I thought it was a good plan, Bass.
Yeah, sorry about that. Mic was muted, but I was able to listen in. That's a pretty That's a good plan. Looking at this, this looks like there's a good amount of variety here. So it's a little bit of almost bout with the factory. This should hold them up for a little bit. And then moving into the, you're going up a incline here, up a hill, against a pretty well fortified location, which will definitely give them some trouble.
Rip.
Yeah, and then once you take that out, you do have the QRF to deal with as well. So I really do. This is pretty well put together. I'd say this is good. For a squad element, it might even be a little much, because all I can think of is like you have a 1P cam gunner on top of that tower there, could pretty much obliterate all of them if they weren't careful, if they weren't very smart about it. But that's life. So, Ust, what do you got?
All right, we're up here in Athera, kind of the northeast of that last base there. Everyone there?
Yep.
So basically, I planned for like a pilot got shot down, and you need to go and find him and get him out of there alive. Basically, I've garrisoned pretty much the whole town. I've got a couple BTRs up to the north and the factory, one to the southwest and kind of like that football field or whatever it is. And then I've got some QRF to the southeast in Grovia. That's another BTR. I garrison the whole town, so you're gonna have to mount the entire town, or else you're gonna get a shot in the back. This is a really good mount exercise and kind of like a search and rescue.
All right.
Just say that you're a sadist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously,
this
bro.
definitely looks nasty. So
Ugh.
I can actually use this right now as a good example of a cool trick that I have. So I see that you have the whole town garrisoned. So once people start moving into the town, so I'm just gonna go ahead here and just plop down a AI fire team here. So they're like, oh no, we made it in.
Awaiting orders.
If you go to Ace AI and you do ungarrison group, what's gonna happen is that entire group is gonna ungarrison themselves
Вижу цель.
and start moving on their own. So you can basically, like, once a unit is halfway into that town, you can essentially collapse all the AI on them at once,
Ясно,
because they're all gonna
приступаем.
start moving out of
Oh,
that
I
town.
see.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
that's
already
cool.
killed 3 guys, which is more than what we would have killed.
Yeah.
They're gonna get surrounded, have a mass gas, and they're gonna clear every building, so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, AI can be a little bit
Выполняю.
tough, but so like you see with that, I'm not actually sure if you can see with that or not.
Так точно.
Additionally, I did see that you use the stance tools, Ust, which is good. This was something I was
Yes.
gonna bring up. When you're fighting an enemy, you want to set the stance yourself. Otherwise, they're pretty much 100% always gonna go prone, and they're never gonna move again. So if you want the enemy to move, you need to set the stance. So, for example, what I typically do is I do full speed stand if you want a AI unit to move as quickly as they possibly can. Oh, we just lost one guy.
He got flanked.
It's like watching
Выдвигаюсь на позицию.
Oh yeah, that is another thing. You always want to go into global AI skill and kind of just ramp that up a little bit. Alright, that's pretty good. That's good. I'm gonna go ahead and just I'll keep these for now because server FPS is like 40 something, so we're good. Next scenario here. I only see one scenario with Tater and Barkley. Did you guys just do one together?
I kind of like what we went over. I kind of just try and top Barclay instead, cause like all the stuff that we went over, I already kind of knew already. So
That's fair. That's fair. I
kinda
appreciate
taught
that.
Barclay like how to like move the units, which ones to spawn, like how to make it fair instead of like a whole fucking BDB with like MI28s.
Right, right.
We have like Euros and like a BTR and stuff. So our scenario is pretty simple. If you go to the top left corner of the map, you'll see Oreo Castro. Blue 4 is garrisoning the building in the town, which is actually a pretty cool town. But the castle it was like up for stronghold, and they're trying to clear out blue force. So simple kind of operation. So 4 Euros and the BTR in the middle, convoy down to the town and kind of destroy blue fort if possible. And of course we can reinforce the op 4 by coming in from the other side of the town, or even having some paratroopers. So like if you want to go for longer, you can. This is more of like a defend the position for like Archer 4-1, where they set up in a good position and just hold the town. And that can go indefinitely until you start controlling some of the AIs yourself.
All right, that sounds good then. That's pretty decent. With this, I would say probably one of the more important parts of a defensive operation is to have a good spot to defend from. Are you having them defend from the entire town, or?
So, most likely I would just say like, hey, here's this town. You're holding it against some op 4, and if I give them like a general direction of where they're gonna come from, I already kind of have a few ideas of where they're gonna be. Most likely, like, since there's a church, probably won't use that, but like, there's some good areas in the destroyed building towards the northeast that looks at the whole road coming into town, or even like even on some like the roofs if possible. But like it has some good vantage points, but as the elevation starts to drop and the you can definitely see the elevation difference throughout the town. So like it might be a little bit hard to garrison, but they might have like a team at the entrance of town, and then have more teams like
Right.
another team in the middle of town or something.
All right.
So.
Personally, I would say it would be, if you have a general idea of it, it might be a good idea to put some sandbags or some H barriers or something.
Yep.
Some good defensive positions would be a smart idea. Otherwise, it's good. I'm gonna go ahead then, and we're just gonna.
Lee has a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd heard both. I think I'd heard Tater mention it earlier. Using paratroopers as QRF. That sounds like a really good idea. Because it kind of it gets away from that whole concept of we're dealing with having to spawn our units outside of the area, outside of line of sight, to keep immersion going. So how do we do that?
So, we've done that before, actually. I believe 2 operations ago we did it too. Yep. One of the things with it is it's really tough to get right, because you're basically spawning them into the air, because there's no good paradrop vehicle. So, sometimes people are like, what the heck? Zeus just dropped a platoon on top of us with parachutes. But if you do it right, it can work. So what you do, alright, so look over here at the airfield here. You see this?
Hold on one second.
Right here where we are, at the Altus airfield.
Okay.
So if you do Alt and drag up, Zeus automatically puts them in their parachutes.
Oh, I see.
Oh, nice.
And it does that actually for anything. So I could do I could reenact the A team and just do this.
Oh, I love it.
Or you can like even do you want to get a bird up in the air without like having to like take off from somewhere. Just like the warhorse, just select Alt, drag up, and you'll. Oh, that's not fine because it's not crewed. Yeah, but like if it's crewed, just drag up, Alt and up, and they'll be fine.
All right. Well, that's something to know.
What? When do they add in the AN2?
They've always had it.
Oh, what the hell?
All the AIs are reacting. Look, the AIs from the town are trying to shoot the paratrooper.
That's hilarious. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and remove these. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good then. What other tricks was I gonna? I think I already went over those. So what we're gonna do instead, I'm gonna go ahead and remove some of this stuff. So be careful with removing things, especially after you add update edible objects. So if you see behind us, you'll see these Game Master modules behind us. If you delete those, you lose Zeus. So don't delete those or I'll have to restart the mission. You also see it in game logic there. So we're gonna just do a quick dry run, I guess, here. We're just gonna put down 2 platoons. 1 blue for 1
Готов.
op for.
Готов действовать. Готов действовать. Standing by. Ready for orders. Ready.
And we're just gonna have them
On the
run
way.
at each other.
Ясно, приступаем.
So are you guys familiar with how to remote control?
Yes.
Alright, is anyone here not familiar with how to remote control, Barkley?
No.
Alright, so we're gonna, you see over here where I have the 2 platoons here? They're shooting each other already?
Oh, they are?
Yep. Just outside of Thera.
Oh, shit.
So, go down to the Zeus tab. Do
Yeah, I see it.
remote control. Go ahead and remote control one of them.
2, hold fire. Fire! Do not fire!
Did someone set it to raining?
No, I didn't.
I just
Fire!
noticed it started
Do
raining.
not fire!
Oh, are we supposed to be remote controlling right now?
If you want to. I'm just trying to give these guys some practice with it.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do
I just
next
got done.
is.
I just got done wasting my platoon in the tree. So.
There you go then. I'm gonna kill these guys.
Oh, give him the rockets. Everybody.
That's a good idea, actually. Let me. I'm gonna put a rocket down. Right after I mark where the hell this guy is. Right here.
Wait, what are these for? Tracers, what are those?
Tracers create a effective battle. So like if I'm gonna put down a few here.
Visual thing.
Hey, can I do wait, where do you find the nuke exactly?
It's a
Russia VDV.
It's a specific Russian. Let's see if this rocket barrage worked.
All right.
I love the BM-21s.
Oh, I know.
Behind that
Great.
flies.
Who is that?
Oh.
Well, that wasn't fair.
I guess that wiped them out.
Oh man, I missed the. Oh wait, I can still see it.
Oh, fun fact about the Zeus lightning bolt is if you have if it's thunderstorming, right? It's like if you got a big old thunderstorm going on. If you put the lightning bolt down in the distance, it basically acts like an actual lightning strike. And it causes
some like atmosphere.
exactly. I did that with your training, Lee.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember thinking, oh shit, that's a clever way to use Zeus lightning. It works really well in like pitch dark.
Yeah, so like if I, let me skip time here. It's about here. Nope. Let me skip it a little bit more. There we go.
Whoa.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we just like bringing the server to its knees right now?
No, server's still a very solid 46 right now. You guys aren't doing anything. Zeus generally doesn't cause too much impact unless you do something stupid or there's a lot of people on the server.
Man, where can I find a damn nuke?
You mean
Hanging
stupid
about.
like 3 rocket strikes at once?
Not really.
Find a fucking piece of.
It's alright. If you really want to know where it is, go to Op4, go to Russia, RVA, go to Artillery, go to 9M79B.
Wait, which one again?
9er M7 9er Bravo.
Niner.
Now the thing about
Oh, 2S3 artillery?
no,
Or no?
it's under USSR RVA.
R.
Or not USSR, it's under Russia RVA. Do you see it? In fact, hold on a sec. So there's a thing with this is you can't remote control it. All right.
Yeah, I don't see it.
So
Is
let
it-
me just
Is it Russia VMF or
RVA.
Russia?
RVA. So do you
I don't
see
see R. I don't see.
do you see
RA.
Russia MSV?
MSV. No, I don't. It just says VDV and VMF.
Scroll up then. Alright, do you see the search? Alright, so under units.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. I got
Alright,
it. Russia
so-
MS.
So give me a second here, alright? So you can't actually do this with remote control. So I'm gonna put one down here, right here.
No.
Uh-oh.
Damn it.
Whoops.
Alright, put another one down. I'll shoot the AI.
Nah, I'll just put an empty one down.
How
Yeah,
do you put an
drop a blue
empty
four
one
guy.
down?
Under empty. So
Duh.
if the unit's empty, yeah. Alright, so everyone come here with me.